Assalamu alaikum. Praises be to Allah. Welcome to episode 26 of The Universal. I am your host, Brother Jack Alexander, and we were covering last time the light. Well, we was explaining the light. I won't say we were covering the light, I would say we were shining the light. By Allah's grace, by Allah's permission. So we'll start in prayer. In the name of Allah, the entirely beneficent, the entirely merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds, sovereign of the day of recompense. It is you, Allah, whom we serve, and it is you, Allah, whom we ask for help. Guide us, Allah, on the straight path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed favour, not of those who have gone astray, nor those on whom thy wrath is brought down. Okay, guys, we only got up to verse 11, bless us. We only got to verse 11. Me and my flipping talking, eh? And I said I was going to do this episode yesterday, but it was a Friday, and I just take Fridays off. I just feel like I need them Fridays. I like them Fridays to myself, thank you very much. So I'm here today doing it instead. So just to sort of make a bit of a reminder, chapter 26, since it's episode 26, chapter 26 of the Quran is the poets, which is really interesting. Yeah, so it says here, the title of this chapter, The Poets, is taken from a reference to the poets in verse 224, where arguments are given that the Holy Quran is not the work of a poet. In fact, the whole chapter deals with this oft-repeated allegation of the opponents by showing that the Holy Prophet's work or preaching was similar in detail to the work and preaching of preceding prophets, bearing no resemblance whatsoever to the work of poets. And it's interesting because it does. We'll do the first 10 verses. Oh, it's only got 9 in the first section, to be fair. Which again, that makes it more significant because the first verse of the second section is verse number 10, which talks about Moses. And when thy Lord called Moses, saying, Go to the iniquitous people. Alright, so we'll do the first 10 of them, or 9 of them, should I say. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, benignant, hearing, knowing God. These are the verses of the book that makes manifest. Perhaps thou wilt kill thyself with grief because they believe not. If we please, we could send down on them a sign from heaven, so that their necks would bend before it. And there comes not to them a new reminder from the Beneficent, but they turn away from it. They indeed reject, so the news will soon come to them of that at which they mock. See they not the earth, how many of every noble kind we cause to grow in it? Surely in this is a sign, yet most of them believe not. And surely thy Lord is the mighty, the merciful. The merciful. So, So let's also, we want to thank the entire nation of Islam for being, as it is, our teaching source during such a dark hour. And I would like to thank my mother who raised me and made sacrifices that I am learning of and yet will never comprehend the depth of. This is the broadcaster Universal, as you can see, and I'll be sharing to the best of my ability what I have been learning and writing down for the purpose of quickening us to life and help us grow into the spiritual mind of Almighty God. I'm speaking at the church tomorrow. I've got I've got something planned for tomorrow. Like, I'm going to be at the podium for the first time ever in my life. Or a podium, not the podium. Because we all know which podium the podium is. And that's at Mosque Mariam. So, Yeah, we got a way to go. Praise be to Allah. So, what was I going to say? Yes. Into the spiritual mind of Almighty God. Let us remember that man is the glory of God. Just think on that for a moment. Man is the glory of God. And we're saying woman as well. We're not just saying man. When I say man, you know, we mean woman as well. So don't get it twisted. But all have fallen short of that glory of God. So, and just think with me, if man is the glory of God, then if God is as glorious as he is, and he is, then what regard does he see man in by calling or by giving man such a statement as being his glory? See, like if I'm a king, yeah, and I go into another kingdom, and or maybe I can't make it into that other kingdom for some reason. Maybe I'm busy that day. I'm going to send one in my name. I'm going to send one in my spirit. I'm going to send one to represent my glory as the king, right? So God is saying that man is the glory of him, of God. And that is really that's a big point to make. And it's so big of a point that man has to wrestle with it because he's in a reality. He's in a particular phase of his growth that, you know, it's hard to see that. It's not easy to see that you are the glory of God in such a condition as this. Something that I'm going to try to do from now on. I'm going to try to slow down because I've noticed that the best ministers in the Nation of Islam, including the minister himself, teaches at a certain pace where he can. It's almost like he allows people to keep up with him just because of the pace in which he's moving in the lecture. So I'm going to try to go a little bit slower from now on. Because honestly, last episode, it was just like, I felt like I was going way too fast. Like my mind was just racing. And yeah, like I kind of had so many points to make. And I felt like I rushed through them. I mean, if I didn't rush through them, it would have been a lot longer. But I think I'm going to try to slow things down a bit. Because I do get a little bit, like, excited. You're going to get a brother excited up in this piece. So, you know, why is man the glory of God? Where's the proof of this as well? You know, even the animals, even it's almost like even nature itself knows who we are more than we know who we are. Pardon me, I've broke fast 10 minutes ago, and I had a lot of fruit, so there's probably a lot of acid going on the inside. So I do have to let it go down and all that stuff. But I'm trying to be a bit quieter because people are already in bed, and I'm just trying to be a bit more considerate, you know. So so what makes man the glory of God? Well, it's like when you write a song, when you give a song its title, when you give a song its power, should we say? Because the power is found within the title. The title's found within the power. If you get what I mean by that, like the title doesn't give man power, but it's almost like the title is the definition of what it is. Let's say it like that. So when you're writing a song, let's say I've called it... let's say I've called it... Let's just say I've called it orange juice, just on a very basic level, because I don't want to go too like complicated. Let's say I've called it orange juice. Then it's like the whole track, the whole song, the whole like message will be like marked with orange juice. I know it sounds really stupid, and I guess it does in a way. It does sound pretty stupid, but you know, the song will reflect what its title, um, what it's been labelled as, what it's been named, you know, or it should do in some sense, if that makes sense. So, if God has, you know, named man his glory, then even when he's not living up to that, he's still marked with that in some kind of way. In a way, if you get what I mean. So, me personally, yeah, and we'll all have experienced this, when we're not on like form, or when we're not doing as we should, there is the self-accusing spirit. There is a power from beneath the physical into the spiritual, into our very thoughts, into our very conscience, that lets us know, you can do better than that. You can do better than you're doing. You can do this, you can do that. So, point being is, our very nature, our very like being itself is a god. I hope you're hearing me. Is a god. A god is only, you know, a being with force and power. And you are a being with force and power. And people think the force and power is the key word there, but it's not. It's being. You're a being. Because you are like being. You know, like the power of thought is what makes you to be. Your ability to reason, your ability to go beyond, let's say, the the usual capacity for other species, other living creatures. Yours has no capacity. It's like you've got an unlimited capacity in comparison to a lot of animals. And in terms of not just having unlimited capacity in brain power, because one could argue then, oh well, the dolphins, you know, the dolphin's the glory of God, but the dolphin wasn't made in the image and in the likeness of God. See, so you know you could say that, you know, it's the dolphin, but and then you realize that, then you realize that man is not just capacity wise on the internal level, a glorification of God and a glory of God, but he is and has unlimited capacity there. But man's being the glory of God is unlimited and has full capacity, unlimited capacity in the physical realm. See? So when you see like Egypt, or when you see Atlantis, when you see like these mega structures, and believe me, beloved, we're about to hear a lot more about Egypt soon, inshallah, if it be Allah's will. We already have heard a lot so far about Egypt, and God knows what's being done, like on the underneath. Like, can you imagine, like, what is really underneath that thing, and what it means, and how it can be activated? Pardon me. And so, but if now think of this, because the pyramid is really a proof of everything I just said. And it's interesting how the pyramid is the proof and it's not the man. Slow motion on that one. See? It's as though God, in his infinite wisdom, has done such a wise job of hiding God from God, in a way, by putting it so close that the last place he'd look is within himself. Praises be to Allah. So, I think we're a little slow especially as this, in terms of this time, this generation, we are moving a little slow because we don't fully see what is, you know, what is up for grabs, should we say, in terms of what there is to know. You know, if all the other generations came back into this generation, they wouldn't be scrolling on social media. They'd be using Google to research so many things. And there are people that research on this kind of level that you maybe know. And so these old worlds, if they was to come back into this world and discover what we've discovered, and to obviously have the scriptures that they had back then still amidst the people, they'd be spoiled for choice. They'd be like, yo, I don't even want to go to Ibiza. I don't even want to go to Disneyland. That's like, it's not, there's no true joy in that. Do you understand? So if all have fallen from, like, short from the glory of God, then think about it like this. What does that mean for us? That means that for us who are reaching up, reaching out to the Creator, and reaching up into our, higher selves, we have to be humble. Humble to the fact that we've fallen short. Because it's like, look, if you don't think you've fallen over, you'll never get up. You'll just stay on the floor and say, well, I've not even fell over. You can only get up if you can acknowledge that you've fallen over. Some people some people shuffling about on the floor and they're just too proud to just stand up and say, yeah, I wasn't stood up. I just wasn't stood up. I got hit. I fell. Do you know? So, but look, your humility is connected to your humanity, and that's why people kind of spook out when it comes to humility, or they kind of bug out when they get humbled, because there's a power in being humbled. There's a power present, or there's a power on the inside that's been activated, or that's been initiated to a point where it's almost like this. All right, this came to me then. Praise be to Allah. When you get humbled, yeah, it's basically when somebody has resuscitated the spiritual, self-accusing spirit. Think on that. When you get humbled, it means that somebody has used them defibrillators, them like, that they do in the hospital when you're on the bed and they try to like keep your heart going and keep your pulse. Well, when somebody humbles you, when somebody gives you something to think about, it's not necessarily like, although it feels sometimes like a challenge, or somebody's like trying to hate on you or hurt on you or whatever, really it's like somebody's trying to bring about or bring back a voice that, or a reality, a spiritual part, a spiritual essence that has been really dumbed down. You hear a lot of these talks, praise be to Allah, about the pineal gland being calcified. If you research the pineal gland, there's an element of it that is so profound that that's really connected to the infinite capacity that I was talking about. That's like, it's almost like an infinity stone. Have you ever watched? I'm sure a couple of people have understood the concept of what an infinity stone is, like in Marvel and stuff like that. when Thanos was after getting all of the Infinity Stones. Well, it's like your pineal gland is like an infinity. It's like an Infinity Stone, and it's like, our leaders and our oppressors. I won't even say our leaders. They're not our leaders. My leader is the Most Honourable Elijah Muhammad. My master is Master Fard Muhammad, and my minister and my teacher is the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But our um, our leaders, our so-called leaders, that's what this world likes to make us to think that they are. They are leading us. They're only leading us to flipping to the hellfire. So that's why I don't like to call them leaders, because they're called. Oh, right. Should we correct it? They're called misleaders. So these misleaders have so many different, you know, sciences of evil that are designed to decalcify that infinity stone that's on the inside of our being, that's on the inside of our innermost sanctum of our brain, of our being, of our spiritual life. You know, when Allah says in the Quran, we are closer to you than your jugular vein, it's really interesting how it says we. you know, it's so beautiful how Allah has reminders for us, how He sets up reminders. That's why that verse then, like, but look, in the reminder is the humbling. See, so that's why it said in that verse then, with the poets, it said, you know, and there comes not to them a new reminder from the beneficent, but they turn away from it. So look, I'll say it differently. And there comes to them a new humbling factor, or let's say, and there comes to them a new humbler. Let's just say that, a new humbler. Because, you can be humbled from anybody, really. Allah can Allah can speak to you through anybody. That's something I've learned. That's something I've like grasped in my life. Sometimes people won't even know they're being used by Allah to speak to you. Sometimes, sometimes people won't even know what they're saying, but you'll know what they're saying, and Allah has so many different ways of communicating to us and confirming things to us. And, praise be to Allah for the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan. What a healthy being, what a healthy thinker he is. What a love, what a joy he is to listen to. Because this part that I'm like touching on here, the innermost sanctum of man, the way he views it is with so much grace, is with so much care, because he says, I'll give you an example. He says that everybody who I meet is my superior. And that's really, really powerful, that. And I think it goes into Prophet Muhammad's just natural shyness. That's what I think is connected to that reality in the minister. Is that he's not shy because he's like afraid. Is that perhaps the Prophet might know more about yourself than you know about yourself. And can you imagine somebody who believes that you're their superior, yet they have superior knowledge that you don't have, and they seek to give that to you? It can sometimes be a little bit difficult to actually find the right tone, find the right manner, find the right time, set the right base to really deliver that over. Of course, all of Allah's servants are patient, but there's an element of it it can kind of feel a bit overwhelming to know what others know not. Do you understand? It can. It really is true. So, you know, with that base, that's kind of what I wanted to like speak to us about, or like that is what the base of this talk. Well, that's what I'm going to be mentioning. Something along the lines of that tomorrow in my talk at the church. That's what I want to do, and I want to try and tie things together, like the wise man on the rope and the drowning man in the ocean. I do want to tie things together, you know. I want to help people to understand things. I want to help people to understand that they don't understand things. Because again, that's part of being humbled is that, you know, it's the amount of times the minister has said something to me or said something to us, and I'm like, oh, I heard what you said there, minister. Oh, and like he's such a good teacher that he has you he has you humbled in a beautiful kind of way. And really, I have to thank Allah for the way that I receive it a lot of the time, and just because of the way He's made me in that sense. Like I don't feel threatened by the minister in any way whatsoever. He is not somebody who I like. Like you know what I mean? He's somebody who is like the perfect teacher for us because he's full of so much grace. He's full of so much compassion. He's full of how to break the. See, he doesn't even break the news. He like gives the news. He like caresses the news. You know, people say breaking news. Like, you know, you don't want to break the news. You might break the head that the news is for by breaking the news. And anyway, that's kind of like what I'm learning to do. Like I've been learning for a long time with this. Like in the beginning of my journey, I was just I will just explain it like this. I was just a man on fire. Man's like Denzel Washington. I was just a man that was just on fire. I was just like because so much of my life was lived. Well, not so much of it, but like such a very I think important part of it was lived without the you know in sort of the absence of God. That when I found the minister teaching all of this, it's like it's just it's something that was I was now I'm compelled to make up for the time that I may have not wasted, but I may have found that if I did have that time with the minister, I probably wouldn't have made a lot of the mistakes that I've made, and I probably would have been a lot less hot-headed about certain things. I would have learned a very God knows what nation babies are actually like, like you have the people that bear witness, but then you don't know how far the bearing of witness has taken place. But there are some that I look at and I think, wow, you got the you got the real like you got the it's almost like you got a heavenly birth in a way. And I think to some degree your difficulties in childhood as a child can also do that as well. If it wasn't as great as obviously being a nation baby, can almost produce that heavenly type of effect as well. Because sometimes through real pressure, as they say, you make a diamond. Sometimes out of the pressure, you have to remember also that that's also where God's are made as well. You know, the womb that's thinking about God and the womb that's thinking about love, the womb that's thinking about gratitude, they're one and the same womb, aren't they? Am I right in saying that? I hope I'm right in saying that. Praise be to Allah. So, anyway, we're going to go into. Let me get my light on a little bit. And it's the light that we're on. Okay. Let me turn my light on. A little bit. We don't need that. Yeah, by the way, after this day, I'm going to try to focus on a little bit of my own works and then use the Quran as more so reference point. Because I do want to. It's almost like I want to take the weight off my shoulders. You know, sometimes, beloved, I'll just sit there, and if I'm going through it or I'm having a hard time, the only words that I use, like, is like, it's heavy. It's very heavy. That's what I say to God. And I'm really talking about some of the words and some of the really the revelations that come and have come through the teachings of the most Honourable Elijah Muhammad. But there comes a time where you make so much food that you start to fear, is it going off? Is it going out of date? Is it going is it going to the right? Are we at the right, you know, when you fear Allah, you really do seek to please him, and you really do seek to make sure everything's in order as best you can make it. And sometimes I have that fear with Allah that, like, I hope that things are happening on time. Of course things do. Everything happens on time. Really, it happens in perfect timing with Allah. But, like, the minister said things like that I always keep in mind, like even at Saviour's Day, you know, it might just be me that gets certain messages from him, but you know, we'll save that. we'll we'll save that because he said a lot this Saviour's Day. Even if it was just a small, sorry about that. Let me just move that. Even if it was just a small, brief message that he gave to us, it was enough to fill your boots. It was enough to fill your entire next 3 years of your life, probably. Like, I'm extracting some stuff out of that. I'm excavating that. And obviously, I think it was episode. God knows. Oh no, it was the Saviour's Day episode. So what was that? Episode. Yeah, episode 15. Go and check episode 15 out. And 14 as well. Check episode 14 out as well. I remember that was a good one. Just around Saviour's Day, it was just great. But I go into, like, mortality because it's one of the very first things that I extracted. Because the thing is, when you know he's from Allah, then you can stop for a minute, and and obviously if you're grateful for him and you're really, really pleased to see him and to experience him, then Allah gives you, like, a way into the very words he speaks. Like, puts you in a place where you're not just listening to someone talking, you listen to God speak to you through him, and you're then, dissecting what he has said, and you're trying to find the message that God sent for us all, but even for you in your, pardon me, sorry, even for you in your growth, like, individually. And so, all right, so let's we was at section 2. I think we was at section 2. Oh no, I think we did it. Oh, we'll just go through it, why not? Surely they who concocted the lie are a party from among you. Deem it not an evil to you. Nay, it is good for you. For every man of them is what he has earned of sin. And as for him among them who took upon himself the main part thereof, he shall have a grievous punishment. Why did not believing men and the believing women, when you heard it, think well of their own people? Say, this is an evident falsehood. That's interesting. In the footnotes it says here, there was not a single witness nor any circumstance that could lend colour to the false story. So it's like, the charge is black and white and has no colour in it, and therefore it has no substance in it, it has no essence in it. Oh, praise be to Allah. Oh, praise be to Allah. That's beautiful, you know. No wonder Muhammad Ali, no wonder Elijah Muhammad said that the Maulana Muhammad Ali Quran is the best translation that we can feed from, because he really does put some brilliant stuff into view, you know. So, why did they not bring four witnesses of it? And you know what, as well? Yesterday was Friday the 13th, I believe. And like they say, that's like a dark day or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not an accident that I wasn't doing the broadcast yesterday or something. Or maybe, since the world's so backwards, maybe it's actually a day of light and I should have been it. But it's alright. Everything happens for a reason, and I don't know, it's just a thought. Maybe Friday 13th. What is Friday? You know, something about the number 13. Something about the number 13. Because you've got like the 13th disciple, apparently. Like I've seen stuff on that. Like there's 12 disciples, there was actually 13. And then you see, like, in buildings, there isn't a 13th floor. You know, Thunder is the 13th chapter. And Thunder is so unique to me. Because if you look at it like this, thunder represents electricity, because what follows thunder is the lightning, and electricity is the most mysterious force to find the origin of. So it's interesting how, like, it's just interesting. Praise be to Allah. So, as they have not brought witnesses, they are liars in the sight of Allah. And were it not for Allah's grace upon you and His mercy in this world and the hereafter, a grievous chastisement would certainly have touched you on account of the talk you indulged in, when you received it on your tongues and spoke with your mouths, that of which you had no knowledge, and you deemed it a trifle, while with Allah it was serious. That's something really interesting, is sometimes what we deem is unimportant, what we deem as something that's not really that serious, or it really is quite serious with Allah. You see how we seem to know or think we know better. I'll tell you what I might do. I might read this that I wrote today. I've been writing. I've been drinking watermelon. No, but on a real note, I've been writing some stuff. I put here you see the word important. You think about who the world and worlds of old sees or viewed as important, and you find in most cases they don't mean and are not worth a skip with Allah, because they think they are bigger than God. They think they are more popular than, or too popular for, or too important to recognize and acknowledge or give time for, or to Allah. In a world of competition, self doubt, and comparison, we look at this compared to that. We don't see that Allah's will is one, and wherever the oneness is, wherever universality is, where truth is, there is Allah, even if it's in the considered lowest place or unknown place or obscure place. So somebody who's deemed unimportant to the world and to everybody else might actually be tremendously important to Allah. And with this said, Allah usually sets up an equation where He makes the big bad something come and bow at the foot of what everyone counted as the no good nothing. There's loads to this, but I don't think I need to go any further, to be fair. I'm still writing that. It goes on to talk about how the Jews were viewing Jesus. Like, even today, the Jews view Jesus so wretchedly and horrifically that, you know, but then look, it says every knee shall bow and they will come and bear witness. They will come and, like, they'll be at your feet, it says, in reference to Jesus. So these Jews and that, they may hate Him, they may have all this to say, but at the end of the day, they're going to come and worship at His feet. See? He makes these almighty powerful Jews who run the place. He's going to make them bear witness and bow at the feet of so-called, as they say, so-called nothing. See? So I think that's interesting. And so look, we think things are not that important. We think things are not that great or not that valuable or not that. What's the point? What is that word? Not as. Hmm. Significant. Praise be to Allah. That's the word. Significant. Praise be to Allah. That came out of nowhere. Well, it didn't come out of nowhere. Praise be to Allah. It came from the Most High. Because that's it. When something's significant, see, when we think things are not, or we think things are insignificant, we are then in that place where we've deemed it a trifle. You spoke with your mouths that of which you had no knowledge, and you deemed it a trifle, while with Allah it was serious. You deemed it as insignificant, while with Allah it was serious, it was significant. Okay? So just think over that. And why did you not, when you heard it, say, "It beseems us not to talk of it, glory be to thee, this is a great calumny"? Allah admonishes you that you return not to the like of it ever again, if you are believers. Allah makes clear to you the messages, and Allah is knowing, wise. Those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe. For them is a grievous chastisement in this world and the hereafter, and Allah knows, while you know not. I think what's referring to, obviously, section 2 is called Aisha's slanderers. So I'm pretty sure that perhaps it might be addressing. Wait, let me see, because a lot of people. Right, I tell you what, there is a breakdown here from Maulana Muhammad Ali. Maybe we should have read this before this, but we'll get to the end of the. We'll get to the end of the. Yeah. We'll get to the end, and then we'll read that, because maybe everything that was just said will make a bit more sense if you do the rewind and whatnot. Okay. So those who love that scandal should circulate respecting those who believe, for them is a grievous chastisement in this world, and hereafter, and the hereafter, and Allah knows while you know not. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and His mercy, and that Allah is compassionate, praise be to Allah. That's really, it always interests me so much, the Quran. Because look, you got a full stop after verse 19. Punctuation is everything as well. I'm not sure what that means when it has a big dash next to it. Maybe I need to research what they are. Because it almost feels like an unfinished sentence. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and His mercy, and that Allah is compassionate and merciful. See? It's almost like there's a middle bit that needs to be filled in. But that's just me. I'm just a student. I'm not an intellectual coward. You understand this? I hope you understand this. Not about me. I mean about yourself. I hope you understand that when I try to help you see something through using little old nothing me as an example, I'm really trying to help you with you. I'm not trying to help you see me. I'm not trying to help you, worship at my feet or like think I'm something I can't hold. I can't hold what you lot would put on the minister. No way. I'd blast you into next Friday, bro, sister. I would. I wouldn't be able to hold it as well. I wouldn't be able to help it. As soon as somebody starts exalting me, listen, I appreciate it, but you better quit it. You better cut that BS out. and take it to the one God. So, right, let's get back to 11a, because it says the incident referred to in this section took place when the Prophet, accompanied by his wife Aisha, was returning from the expedition against the Bani Mustalik in the 5th year of the Hijrah. Aisha had gone out on a private occasion, but when she returned, she perceived that she had lost her necklace and went back to search for it. In her absence, the attendants, supposing her to be in her howdah, started while it was yet dark. When she returned, finding the camel and the men gone, she sat down there and was brought to Medina by Safwan, who was coming in the rear. Some mischievous persons from among the hypocrites spread false reports, slandering her, and some of the Muslims also associated themselves with the slander. Oh, so like all my days, right? I understand. Aisha's innocence was at length established by this revelation, and it says Bukhari 52:15, which is the what they call the hadiths. That's like the hadith things. I've not really gone into them. Maybe one day we could do a video about that. Revelation. So those who had taken part in the accusation were punished according to one hadith. And then it gives you the name IM 2013. This is the grievous punishment referred to in the concluding words of the verse. Right. It may be added here that the tongue of gossip has never spared even the most virtuous woman. Another case of a virtuous woman being thus defamed is that of Mary, the mother of Jesus, about whom the Jews talked similar slander. The addition of the words deemed it not an evil to you, nay, it is good for you, aims at bringing solace to such grieved people, seeing that even the most virtuous of women could not escape the tongue of slander. That's really interesting. Because sometimes it takes faith. This is a faith thing. This is why faith can sometimes, be like such a hard thing to have to go through, because you expect people to be faithful, you know, with you and about you, and you expect that faith to be sort of universally understood, but it's not always the case. And like, say if you do something or you leave, you set up a scenario for yourself in your life where people have to, like, they have to be really honest enough to ask you, like, maybe where did you go, or where have you been, or what have you been doing, you know instead of that, which really is quite easy and quite simple, and really quite beautiful, to be honest. People would rather lean on their own whispering shaitan and their own doubts. See, when doubt creeps in, it takes precedence of faith, it takes the position of faith, because doubt then can fill you with information that faith can't fill you with. Because with faith, you couldn't accept the information that doubt would provide. If you had faith, you'd be like, what are you talking about? What are you on about? Like, you'd be like, to you in your inner being, you'd be like, what was that all about, mate? What are you talking? Who the hell you think you're talking to? Like, just as the minister says we have to talk to our stomachs when they're growling for food, we should also do the same for our minds as well. Sometimes I'm just walking up the street, and I'm just talking to myself, and some people walk past me and they think, like, he's crazy, him. And I'm like, nah, you're crazy for not speaking to yourself. You're crazy for not trying to, like, you know, speak to yourself, yeah. So praise be to Allah for being in Knoxville. So, but it's interesting that's an interesting thought. I thought the slander of Aisha was referring to the fact that she was quite young, but in that time it was quite normal, at that time. And plus, we're so sick and deranged, and we're so like, ugh, we're hypersexualized and just in a horrible kind of environment and world. Specifically, especially as far as children are concerned, the way this world views how Muhammad was married to Aisha and what that marriage they think it means. It's just so sick how they view it, and they view it from their own mirror. They view it from their own condition. They view it from their own world. It's deranged. It's the fact that they look at it like that. Not only does it show how little faith that they have in God, but like it shows like how low down even their assumption of something is. See, you can you can have an assumption and it's not really sin because you've assumed somebody has experienced enlightenment. So you kind of like it's part of your faith. It was really not an assumption. It's really faith. You're just hoping and you're having that inclination that somebody has gone towards their faith with something instead of their doubt with something. But Allah is the best knower. So yeah. So I thought it was that slander, but just goes to show you that some people only need an inch. Some people only need a little bit of string, and they'll do something with that little bit of string, man. They can't help it. The minister said something funny one time. He says, the people who love you, they're just glad to see you, you know, and the people that that don't love you, it don't matter how hard you teach them, no matter how well you teach them, they'll still be that you know when you're finished. They'll still, no matter how much you teach your enemy, no matter how much you try to engage with your enemy to make them other than your enemy, they're still gonna be that when you're finished. In fact, they'll be worse, man. I found that funny because it's true. There's no. I'll just give you an example. Donald Trump, man, and some of these followers of him are just so weird. So it's just the word is blind. It is like the Quran says it. It says we put a covering of blindness over them, and it also says it's not the eyes that are blind, it's the hearts. And people that follow that man, Donald Trump, they must have deficiency in the heart somewhere. They must have a heart problem because you know, and it also must kind of like, he really is an anomaly. Donald Trump, he really is like a very interesting. He's a very interesting kind of character, not because he's interesting, should we say, just because of how he moves through the world. Like he's so slick how he moves through the world. Like with such a bad record, with such a catastrophic record. Do you know? It's quite something. I might have a fig. I might have a fig. I'm gonna have a fig. Mm. I struggle with people that have good things to say about Donald. I really do. Especially if it's people that I love. Especially if it's people that like I have a lot of respect for. Because I'm like, I said it in another episode. I was like, such a man like the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan has such a great record, such a wonderful record of goodness. He hasn't got a criminal record. He has such a glorious record, and yet the the falsehood is more paid attention to with little evidence, with little. Again, they don't need a lot. People who want to disbelieve and people who do disbelieve and who want to doubt and who do doubt, they don't need a lot. You know, you see it. They could have 99 proofs of it of him being a rightly guided man, but if so long as they've got that little one mistake, that little one thing, oh, that's enough for them. They don't need anything else there. They've got it all there. They think they got it made. So, and then you got Trump with he's got like 39 counts of sexual misconduct. He's been impeached, I think, once already. He's gonna get impeached again. Worse than that. He's in the Epstein files like 39,000 times. And it's a wonder. It's a miracle how he's still in office. Personally, the thing he said about Obama, he posted that video or that picture of the monkeys, and then like, you know, the things he said, he's just his mouth. He's a running. His mouth is like a running stuck record of evil and lies, and I just think to myself, how are you even still, and how are you still even in the world? And the truth is, it's because it's his own. It's the children of the slave master that's keeping him in that position. It's the mouth. See, the devil's got a mouth. Ooh, tell you. How did he get round that? How did he get round? Just to get round things? It's just like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I swear to God, man. He really does get to me. I just want to, you know, I've got a song and it's like 20 minutes long. Maybe we could do some music at the end of this. I don't know. Maybe if you could. I'm joking. Could do. I've got a song, yeah, and it's called like the F word. Don't say it out loud, and don't say it even in your mind. Just say astaghfirullah, but just know what I've said. That word, and then Pharaoh. It's like 20 minutes long, and I've oh God. Up in my room at my mother's house, on the wall, I've drawn those words. Pardon me, Allah. And I've been thinking about destroying the devil for a while, beloved. You know, I've been reminding myself like I want to kick this damn devil's ass. Pardon my language. But yeah, that's But yeah, so slander. He's a very slanderous type of individual, is Donald Trump. He can proper slander someone. He can proper tear him a new one and stuff. He really can. I've noticed that about him. He's really, really good at just using his damnable mouth. Honestly. Right. Let's get back to the light. Okay. Maybe we should because I don't want to make this too long tonight. I really don't. I really want to just, because I'm up tomorrow in the morning because I've got church, and I really want to just practice, and so I do want to. I'll probably end this when I get to section 4, 5. Yeah. I'm gonna stop when we get to section 5. Sorry, I'm just eating for a moment. Pardon me. Can you just imagine the minister midway through his lectures just grabbing a couple figs, starting eating them? He's like, pardon me, just hold on a minute. I'd be like, go on, minister, eat. Scran it, beloved. Get your energy, fam. You know, do what you need to do, brother. Teach that fig. It's all love. Alright, let's get back to it, eh? Maybe I need a drink of water now, actually. I need a bit of a drink. Let me get one. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. Oh, fasting is a glorious occasion. Okay. Oh, you who believe. I love it when it says that. Oh, you who believe. Oh, isn't that such a wonderful thing to say? From God to a believer. Oh, you who believe. It's like you take it personally. You're like, oh, God's talking to me. You know what I mean? God has called my name. So, oh, you who believe, follow not the footsteps of the devil, and whoever follows the footsteps of the devil, surely he commands indecency and evil. And were it not for Allah's grace on you and his mercy, not one of you would ever have been pure. And Allah purifies whom he pleases, and Allah is hearing and knowing. Praise be to Allah. That's really interesting. And obviously not the part that, because we all know the devil commands indecency. Like, you just, if you know that you've got them kind of friends, or you used to have them kind of friends, that it's like that. Pardon me, they kind of like they kind of like torment you in a way with your desires. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like they have a clear like, oh, they're just so they think they're so smart. They think they're so clever. Oh my god, they think they're so like they think nobody can see them. It's just like, ugh, what a dumb devil. Like, that's what I think sometimes. Like, we got a dumb one. We got a dumb devil. Do you know? Like, at least if you're gonna, I like a challenge, me. I like a Satan every now and again, me. You know what I mean? But these dumb devils, man, I just can't. I can't even stand the dumb devils. The dumb ones are just like, ugh, it's like, get a grip. But like, I like it if Satan comes, mate, because I'm like, yeah, I can blast you into the next week, mate. I'll probably. It's like the opposite, yeah. It's like the Satans are sometimes just demons with too many demons. You just need to get the demons up off him, and you'll find it's actually God that's just got overrun by a load of silly ways. And maybe I should talk to you about that. I wrote this. I wrote this the other day because I'm learning a lot about like just I'm having a lot of encounters that are giving me a lot of revelations about stuff. And I put angels are more dangerous than demons. Demons have power to tempt you, to prompt you, to stir you. Angels, however, have weight with God to absolute you. Check that out. I put angels are described with having many eyes, such as in Enoch, meaning they can see into all your motives. I guess it depends on the rank of angel you're dealing with, and thus angels respond in such a way that you see a reflection of your fight that you put up against them. They absolute you. Demons whisper in the dark, while angels shake the earth with a pure light when they speak. That's why when speaking to people, they do not do as demons do. They do not incite fear. They act like they don't incite fear or act like they don't represent a merciful God. They always say when speaking to the people or to prophets or those to whom they are to speak with, do not be afraid. See? Like, sometimes it's just, yeah. And so when I say that to say that, I don't even know what I was going to say, to be honest. Just don't follow the footsteps of the devil. You know what I mean? Don't follow the footsteps of the devil. Like, if they're going out and they're gonna go and get up to no good, and listen, let me tell you something. When the devil incites something to you, there's always something in it that I guess you are attracted to in a way. Whether it could be something so simple as there'll be a great conversation that you can have. But in the midst of that conversation, you're in so much you're in a hostile environment. You're in a more hostile environment than you are in a safe environment as to what you're like about, as to what your like what's the word, your vibe is, what you're striving to be. And believe me, brother, like I've been in environments where I'm just like, this is not where I should be right now. I shouldn't be here. Like I've had it at times. I've had it at times where I'm just like, what am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean? You know, I like connecting with people, me, but sometimes you 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 end up you just end up in environments you're like, what am I doing here? You know, and in those environments you gotta be careful. Like, thankfully, I'm a little bit of a warrior, me. Like, I just don't. I'm kind, but I'm firm. Do you know what I mean? If somebody is going to incite somebody, if somebody is going to go for the tormenting vibe, if somebody is going to try and make fun out of me, I'm just as quick as them with a righteous word as they are with a wicked, like, little tormentative, little dig. They can dig, I can dig faster. Or they can dig hard, I can dig harder. I'll put them in the grave, me, mate. I swear to God, with some of the stuff I say. Because the thing is, and I'm great about it still. I like to think that anyway. I even still give them a chance to like, don't do that again. It's calm, bro. I understand where you are. Don't come for me again. You're only coming for my arm. I'm coming for your neck. Damn. Sorry, I need to calm down a bit. All right. Okay. Okay. And let not possessors of grace and abundance among you swear against giving to the near of kin and the poor and those who have fled in Allah's way, and pardon and overlook. Yes, sir. Do you not love that Allah should forgive you? And Allah is forgiving and merciful. Oh, see? See, and let not possessors of grace and abundance among you swear against giving to the near of kin and the poor and those who have fled in Allah's way, and pardon and overlook. Do not love do you not love that Allah should forgive you? So Allah's saying, like, don't be so quick to turn your back on someone. Do you know? Let not the possessor of grace and abundance among you swear against giving. And see, do you see how it says here? And let not possessors of grace and abundance among you swear against giving to the near of kin and the poor and those who have fled in Allah's way. It's almost as though it's addressing you to address those who you can see are possessors of grace. You see? And let not possessors of grace. And praise be to Allah. Let me try to find it. It's in these notes. Alright, we'll see you in a couple of years anyway then. No, I'm joking. Oh, I think I can find it. It's worth finding it because it fits with this. It really does. Come on, Jack, where is it? I hope it's here in like the top ones. Because if it's at the bottom, I'm gonna be here forever. No. What is that? Oh, there's. Oh, wait. No, that's letter number 2. I don't want letter number 2, thank you. Wait, is letter number 1 in there, or is that just letter number 2? Oh my god. Ya Allah. Help me. Help me. Help me when I get to this. Yes. Yes, and it's even folded. Oh my god, praise be to Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had many deep and timeless words, and I would like to open this letter with these words from the Prophet, peace be upon him. If anyone vows to obey Allah, let him obey him. But if anyone vows to disobey him, let him not disobey him. So, back to what we just said. You know what, maybe we could do the letter number 2 in one of these lectures. Do you know what? That's a good idea, you know. Yeah, we could do that. It's so back to what I was saying. Yeah. Praise be to Allah. Back to what I was saying. That it says, and let not possessors of grace and abundance among you swear against giving to the near of kin and the poor and those who have fled in Allah's way, and pardon and overlook. So you see how it's like the Prophet is saying something similar to what even Allah is saying to him. So look, if anyone vows to obey Allah, let him obey him. But if anyone vows to disobey him, let him not disobey him. So let not possessors of grace. You see how your duty is for others. Your duty is also to make sure that others don't fall off the path. See? Your duty is not just to make sure that you get there. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You're not really, I speak for myself. I'm really not bothered if I get there or not. But I just want to go down of like being one of those who was helping others to get there. You know, producing things and calling, making reminders, being patient, you know, being a servant, yo. Being a servant. I wanna have being a servant to people. Do you know? Don't want to have. No, I'm not having another biscuit. I'm not having them. No. We're nearly at the end anyway. We're not going to go for much longer, guys. Because I want to prepare myself. I am just going to speak from the spirit, a lot of it tomorrow. I'm quite excited for it, to be honest. I am a bit nervous. God knows what I'm going to be like when I get to the nation. Inshallah. But yeah, because the nation, that's just going to be so like my days. I probably just like cry my eyes out when I get on the podium, if I ever did. Inshallah, I probably just cry. And you know what? Nah, yeah, I will. Why not? I'll tell you that. The other day, I was actually imagining this moment, and I said to Allah, I said, in that moment, if I am really overwhelmed and I'm crying, can you help me stop? I said in prayer, I said, in case I forget to like pray to be strong on the rostrum, or you know, somewhere where I can bear witness to the most Honourable Elijah Muhammad and the minister. I was like, in case I forget to like pray for strength, like, can you give me some for that day, inshallah. So, but anyway, okay, let's so Do unto others as you would like to be done unto you. Forgive people, Try and forgive people. You know, it says something like, praise be to Allah. Here's that 77. Where is it now? Hold on. Right, hold on. Forgive 70 times, 7 times. So, where Jesus tells Peter to forgive not just 7 times, but 77, or 70 times 7. So that's 490 times. This response, spoken in response to a question about limits, signifies that forgiveness should be limitless and absolute. And in this condition that we're in, oh my God, do we need a forgiving type of folk? We need a forgiving type of mindset. We need to try and overlook things. And listen, I know it can be hard. Listen, these people, they can put you through hell and all that ish. They really can. They really can. But try to figure out a way to just to say I understand, and I'm just trying to be a better brother. I'm just trying to be, a better servant. I'm trying to be a better son. I'm trying to be a better minister. I'm trying to be a better studier. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday. Just make sure you forgive people. Make sure you don't hold anything. Because listen, you're already holding something heavy in your heart anyway, just by doing this work. You don't need any grudges, being held for other things and other matters. You can't even afford to hold that, you know? Praises be to Allah. So, and so it goes on with this, what do you call it? This slander and a false report of Aisha. Surely those who accuse chaste, believing women, unaware of the evil, are cursed in this world and the hereafter, and far from them is a grievous, and for them is a grievous chastisement. On the day when their tongues and their hands and their feet bear witness against them as to what they did, on that day Allah will pay back to them in full their just reward, and they will know that Allah, He is the evident truth. Unclean things are for unclean ones, and unclean ones are for unclean things, and good things are for good ones, and good ones are for good things. These are free from what they say, for them is forgiveness and an honourable sustenance. Praises be to Allah. I did that today. I made prayer, but I made prayer when I'd got completely ready, and I was kind of struggling yesterday. Actually, I've been struggling a little bit at times. I was even struggling of whether to make this video actually, but I just plucked up the courage and I just said, "Sack it." I'm just, I've got to be a man of my word. I need to finish this, or at least go further into this chapter, because I don't think we're gonna go through all of it. To be fair, because I'm already well underway. With time. Time is rolling. But I was in my prayer today, and yeah, I got clean, and I just cried. I just cried because I'd got ready, and I felt like I looked nice, and all my stuff is washed and my room's really tidy, and I just felt like, how to explain it? It was just I just felt really blessed. I don't necessarily I have a lot more than a lot of people, to be fair. But you know, it's really the simple things in it. And I just felt like I was in a really clean state, and I was really grateful for it. It's really interesting how that verse is. home about. And I got my hair cut as well, so like, and it was a really nice haircut. It was, oh, praise be to Allah. I think I found like, because last time I got my hair cut, right, I got cut. I basically envy cut my hair last time. Did you hear what I said? I said envy cut my hair. I gave envy the scissors and told him to cut my hair, and he didn't really do a good job. And I was kind of miffed at it. I was kind of like, I was quite, I was quite annoyed, quite annoyed. Playing with a man's hair is like, it's like wetting a woman's hair. So it's just like, yeah, you don't do that. So anyway, because like even my fringe was like out of like it was just different lengths and stuff. It was just insane. But like I got a fresh trim and I was just like so grateful that it was like a nice trim and like it'll grow nicely as well and it'll grow out as well like nicely. So I was just really happy with that. And yeah, just like I don't know, I just had a moment in it. But praise be to Allah. So we're gonna go through the last section. No, we're not. I don't think we're gonna, because it's pretty deep. I can already see it's deep. And I'll start talking. Yeah, I'm gonna finish it tonight, beloved. I don't want to go too long, brothers and sisters. I've got to, I've got to be careful how much energy I exert sometimes. Like, I can already feel myself like having gone back to being speedy and not like slowing down my words and making sure that I'm giving you time to breathe in the word, breathe in the thoughts that I'm giving, to give you leg room in the understanding that perhaps I might be giving or exposing to you about certain things. I'm just so excited and so so like oh no, I just get really into it and I sometimes just kind of lose all. It's like I go into a trance or something. I don't even know. It's just a spirit. It's just it really comes upon me sometimes, and everything goes in slow motion. It's almost like it's really strange that I give it that explanation. Things go in slow motion, but everything seems like it's going so fast. But it's really like it's like between swinging the pickaxe and hitting the rock, you have like a like a chain reaction, like an electrical explosion. It's like electricity. What am I talking about? It's like electricity exploding in such a short space of time about such a big subject, and sometimes I just have to be careful how much of that I try to exhort all in one go, because I don't know, just I want to do Allah proud. I want to do His Messenger proud. Like I've been dreaming about the Honourable Elijah Muhammad a lot, and I just don't know what that's all about. But I hope it's good. That's all I said in my prayer. Really, I was just like, no, I was sat on the bench today when I said that. I was like, there's this lovely like field of like I don't know what they're called. I think they're called lilies, the yellow ones with like a. It's almost like with a like a vacuum cleaner head on the top of it, on the top of the flower. But they're really yellow. But there was so many of them, and like there was just this one little lonely bench, and I was like, yeah, that's mine. That's my little bench. And I was just saying to Allah, like, I hope I'm pleasing to you. Um, And yeah, just I hope I'm pleasing to him. I hope that I'm helping. You know, I'm trying to follow my heart with things. I'm just trying to be, a little god myself. You know, slowly but steadily. Inshallah. So anyway, beloved, um, we will continue with, I believe it's the preventative measures. It's saying, and there's a lot in the footnotes here, guys. Maybe we could make some of the next episode about some of the footnotes. But obviously, inshallah. I mean, I don't know what's happening in the war situation, but I think Netanyahu was killed. I don't know. I got told. Well, I'm looking on the media. I'm trying to be watchful of things, and seen like this video of Netanyahu, and he's got like 6 fingers on one hand, and that's usually a sign of AI. And there's rumours going about that he's been killed in an airstrike from Iran. So I don't know how that will affect things, but point being is I hope that we can get to some of these works that I have, and not just go over the Quran, although that's just as glorious, like to do as an activity for myself, like to just go into these words. And most of my work is based on what is written anyway, or what the messenger has said. So it's one and the same. It's just a little bit jazzed up, shall we say. Well, I mean, I don't know. Some of it's really interesting, and I just can't wait to bring that. Like, I'll give you an example. The Labourers of Jacob. Like, when I'd love to be able to. Well, I'm doing that on the 30th episode, and it's probably going to be a really big, long episode, because it's a really big document, and it's it's a pretty big document. But again, like I said in another episode, it's more based on like information, and it's quite self-explanatory when it comes to. No, it's actually not, because what I'll have to do before I go into this is probably. I know what I could do is I'll have to explain who Jacob was, but I tell you what I could do. I could go on Brother Ben's AI videos of Jacob, and maybe we could watch a bit of telly as well. Watch a bit of TV whilst we do it. Like obviously watch like the episodes and stuff. And then what we could do is we could even make it a double episode and just like do a little bit of a series on it. Labourers of Jacob, and then, or maybe what we could do is we could do it at the end of episode 29 to lead us into. Oh no, because people may just like miss it and stuff. We'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. Praise be to Allah. All right. Well, I've been your brother. I've been your friend. I've been a helper, just a little humble helper. Just trying. I'm just giving it a go. That's what I say to my mother. I say I'm just giving it a go. So nothing wrong with giving it a go. God loves a trier, and I'm trying my best to, to overcome emotion and overcome things in such a short space of time sometimes, and then do this. Sometimes some of these episodes I've really not known how I'm gonna make it. I'll be honest. I'll just be real. Some of these episodes I've like, come online like really anxious, really uneasy, and sometimes not really knowing. It's just like, but I'm doing it. I'm giving it a go in it. I'm doing something for my Lord. I'm trying to give, even if it's such a slow rate, really. What Allah has been given to me, and that's all you can do, really, isn't it? So, and it's interesting the chapters and stuff that have come up so far, and I think everything's really gone well up to now. Praises be to Allah. be really, it's like I saw brother, what's his name? Uyaman. Uyaman. I don't know if you know him, but Uyaman. He's in the nation. Uh, Maybe I'm saying his name completely wrong, but he did a lyric. He did a song every day. He like did a lyric every single day, and yeah, he did it for a year straight, like every single day. And like maybe it's not every single day that I'm doing these, like every single day, but every it's like fasting. I'm eating every eating a meal once every 2 days or once every so and so days. But there's plenty in them, you know. Sometimes you may think you're ready for the next episode, but you ain't even got past the first three, or you ain't even got past like I don't know. I'm going fast in some sense. I'm making it so that there's plenty. You know, the Honourable Elijah Muhammad said, "Take plenty." So having taken plenty, I'm able to give plenty, and that's hopefully what I'm providing here. Is like you know, like a pool full of wisdom that you can just dive into and just even if you've like because something I found is like wisdom sort of has a way of imprinting itself on you, but it also has a way of getting away from you as well, or like knowledge or certain things or certain perspectives, and you have to go back and have a look. So, you know, this is like a I'm hoping to like generate like quite a great portfolio, like a big portfolio of all these things or like of things that the messenger has said and also adding a little bit of me in there, like there's a lot of people in my area that kind of were always interested, I think, to some degree, of my transition into Islam. So, you know, when they remember that I exist, they'll have quite a lot to look into and stuff. But like the minister did, you have to go underground and you have to just do your thing for a minute. You have to really access, you know, access triple darkness. you know, be made new. Give yourself a chance to be made new. Give others a chance to be made new in how you've made yourself or how you've given yourself a chance to be made new. And praise be to Allah. So I will see you tomorrow after the Sunday church meeting and my um, I was going to say speech, but it's probably not. Well, I guess it is in a way. It's a little bit of a speech, and yeah, I'll let you guys know how it went. I think it's going to be really interesting what Allah brings through to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, I pray it goes well. Anyway, well, Assalamu alaikum, and I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah, for episode. Oh, let's say it. Let's see if it's episode 27. So that is the ant. I bet you. Let's have a look. Is it? Is it? Yes, it is. 7 sections. 93 verses. Yeah, the enamel. Little enamel. Little enamel. Praises be to Allah. Oh, I can't wait to do that episode. Oh, no. So, no. We're not even going to get to that. I say it's episode 27, but we're still going to be on 26. We're still going to be... No, we're still going to be on 24. Because we're getting through the light. We're going through the light. Praise be to Allah. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, I'm actually going this time. Praise be to Allah. Peace out.